Welcome back to the Fantasy Forge Adventurers. Today we're diving into one of the most iconic elements of D&D, dice. These mystical little objects determine our fates in the game, and it's time we get a grip on them. If you're brand new to Dungeons & Dragons, understanding the dice is essential for your journey in the world of D&D. So first let's talk about the role of the dice. In D&D, dice aren't just tools, they are literally the heart and soul of the game. They create suspense, they inject a healthy dose of randomness into the adventures, but dice in D&D aren't just about luck, they're also about strategy, decision-making, and creating a dynamic and engaging story. Now you've probably seen something like this. When looking up any information about Dungeons & Dragons online, you've probably seen dice written down as 1d4 or 3d6. This is what's called dice notation. The number before the D is the number of dice you roll, and the number after the D represents the type of die that you roll, based on how many sides it has. So 1d4 means that you would roll one 4-sided die, and 3d6 means that you would roll 3 6-sided dice, and then add the results. There's a wide range of dice that are used in Dungeons & Dragons. Each of them has a different number of sides. You have the D4, the D6, the D8, the D10, and the D12, and the star of the show, of course, is the D20. Each die has its specific uses, from determining outcomes of certain actions to calculating damage or deciding initiative order. Now, rolling the dice might seem pretty straightforward, but there's an art to it. You gotta give the die a good shake in your hands and let it roll off your palm. You want it to hit the table and roll around a bit, that way you're making sure that it's truly random. And remember, no cocked dice. If a die lands leaning on an object, that's a cocked die, and usually that means you get to re-roll. Now, one of the most exciting moments in any D&D game is when someone rolls a natural 20 with their D20, which is a critical hit. On the other end of the spectrum, rolling a 1 is a critical fail, and often it leads to some very humorous or dramatic moments. One other thing to mention is that the D10 is usually broken up into 2 different dies. These are the percentile die. One has numbers from 1 to 10, and the other has double-digit numbers starting at 00 all the way to 90 in increments of 10. You roll these together in order to determine a percentage. You read the double digits first, and then the single digits. So for example, if the double digit die lands on a 90 and the second die lands on a 5, then you would read that as 95. I hope that makes sense. Remember, adventurers, while dice introduces a bit of chaos and chance into our games, it's also how we react to those rolls that weaves those outcomes into our shared story that truly is what makes D&D so special. So go get your dice, let them roll, and embrace the thrill of the unknown, and also the crippling dice addiction that comes with it. Thank you so much for watching. Forge on, adventurers, and I'll see you next time.